Okay, Mac 132, Blueprint Reading 2. This was Wednesday's class. What did we learn today? We went over the homework on page 315, and we saw some refinement of GD&T principles there of the bonus tolerance principle. On the top, we learned how maximum material condition and least material condition modifiers change the size of the tolerance zone, and they are inversely proportional to each other. On the top part of the exercise, the tolerance zone was not limited. On the bottom part of the tolerance zone, it could vary nothing at maximum material condition, if you remember. Then there was a small increment in between the maximum, and then the rest of the table was filled in at 0.02 of a millimeter maximum the rest of the way. The least material condition modifier went to the other side. Regardless of feature size modifier was on homework page 315, the size of the tolerance zone remained the same at 0. Tolerance zones of 0 are usually put in reference to ID features. And Mr. Johnson came in today and did, I thought, an excellent job of talking about the placement of the feature control frame relative to a feature of size, and did a great job of saying that of measuring where we're measuring a surface, or we're measuring to an axis or a center plane. And when you see a dimension on the print with a feature control frame just below it, then that is telling you that you are measuring relative to an axis. When there is no dimension above with a tolerance on it, then you are measuring right to a surface. So he also spoke of the 2-for-1 principle in GD&T. He went back to the real reason that we have GD&T, and it's not to aid in the manufacture of parts so much as to aid in their assembly. Okay, since we have tightened tolerances up on parts to this degree, we needed GD&T to more precisely control the geometries of mating parts. He went over how a small amount of misalignment in the location of a hole makes the hole behave like it's smaller. ID features will behave smaller. OD features will behave bigger. Did a great job of showing the effect of bending and wasting and and barreling in a shape, and how that was not, two of those things were not related to the axis, but only to the surface. So I invite you to look that part over again in your book. I didn't say it, but we need to be doing the next 2 exercises in the homework. I will be sending an email after this, after I upload this today. So you know where in your book you need to go be looking at the orientation and positioning charts, because they don't really read like any text. You read the chart, you interpret the GD&T symbol, and then you see where the tolerance zone and what it means in actuality. You may need to look at those 2 or 3 times to really get them understood. But I think today's class, we saw the importance of GD&T, and Mr. Johnson even mentioned that most of the jobs he's seeing on Monster and on the job boards these days are referencing the need to have some GD&T knowledge and also to be able to use that in the job and know what those symbols mean. They are requiring it, in other words. So it could only be good for you to get better at this, especially while we're still in it. Thank you, and we will see you Monday.